Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I synthesize my kick drums. A couple people liked in comments for it, and it's going to end up sounding like this. So the plugin I'm using today is Bazzism. In the newer versions they've made it a bit easier. They've got this little option down here just to set the key, but I haven't upgraded yet, so I'm going to show you this little workaround using a frequency chart. So we're going to try to synthesize it in D, and these are basically just multiples of themselves to equal the right key. So the first one, which is the end of the kick, is going to be 37, or well 36, but the closest one we can get on this is 37. And if we follow it all the way along, the highest one they've got here is the 4000, and to get the one that we want, we have to just times that by 2. So work that out on a calculator, and it comes to work that on the calculator, and it comes to 9385. I'll also put a link in the description to find this chart. So now that we've set the start and end frequencies of the note, we can start shaping it. Seems like there's a lot of options for this plugin, but once you play around with it for a while, you start to get the hang of it. So shorten up the tail of it. You can get really short if you want, but I still want a bit of low end in it. Over here you got the envelope as well, where you can shape it. So to get that transient hitting by itself and then pushing out into the subtones, we'll just put a dip. Start to roll it off a bit at the end. There we go, starting to get the desired shape that we want. So to bounce this down to audio, I'm going to use a plugin called Edison. It comes stock with Fruity. This is just basically an audio sampler. You can chop it up, record it live. So hit record. I think I've put this on the wrong channel. So I'll put it on the kick. Hit record. Stop it. And we'll cut out one of these kicks to use. So to do that, you just highlight and delete. Go to the start, highlight it, and zoom in. To zoom in, you just hold down Control and scroll up on the wheel. And you just keep going. Do you see these dots? Each dot is the 0 point crossing. Zoom back out. All the way to the end and hit delete. And we'll just take off a bit of this tail as well. So that's our kick. Come over to this little control here, click and drag out into the timeline. And there we have it, that's our kick. Now, we'll beef it up a little bit using some external plugins. Take off out of sound. Shit, put it on the wrong one again. Yeah. So we'll take that off. We'll assign this kick to track 1, which is the kick one. And on that channel, then we'll do the processing. So use the Fab Filter EQ, nice and accurate. You can bring up your spectrum down here and take out around 20 Hertz because you're not going to hear it and it's just going to mess up the mix. Put a tiny little knee in the cue point there, and we might just take out a little transient peak up here in the top end around 5K. If you maximize your resolution and slow it down, you can see the peaks a lot easier. And by boosting it over the top, you can find your sweet spot. Now, we don't want to drop it too much. It's just to take out that little bit of ear-piercing sound. Put it in a high shelf just to reduce the rest of the top end above that, and we'll raise the cue point a bit. If you do it too much, you'll end up removing too much of the transient, and we want that to help punch through the mix. There's usually a spot between 1 to 300 Hertz that will end up messing up my bass a bit, so I usually like to try to cut that a little bit in this step as well, and boost a bit below it so that it's got more sub presence than the bass. Roll that off a bit more. whiff out, and whiff. So it's a very subtle EQ, we're not trying to change the sound too much. So the next thing in the chain I put on is the Waves Max Bass plugin. Really good for adding a bit of extra low end, help filling it out a bit. So I usually drop the input down to -1 just to help it not have that chance of clipping. Original bass will turn it down a little bit as well. And just raise the max bass till we get to the desired amount we want. Slide the frequency over a bit lower. So the next thing I add is the SPL Vitalizer. It's also just increasing a bit of the low end as well as adding a little bit of crispness to the transient. So make the bass a little rounder. You need to turn up this process knob, because as you can see in this bottom line here, it's linked. And kick in the compressor just a little bit until you see the gain reduction right here. We only want it just coming on. Tune it down a little bit so that it's concentrating on mostly the bass. And for the top end, that little bit extra snap to it. So without the effects, and with so I want to add a little bit of compression. So I use I'll use the multi-band compressor. Select on the electro preset. It's a good little starting point to work off, but always switch it. Make sure we're not clipping as well. Each step in the chain you don't want to clip at all. More headroom the better until the last plugins that we add, or you can adjust with the slider in the end. Make a little sub-frequency section or band. Get my punch of the kick in the second one. Raise it up a little bit. I might just drop the gain on the sub down a little bit. Same for this one as well. This third band uses the low mids. So it's like the harmonics of the kick. I'm going to drop that down a little bit as well. Actually, I might just drop them all down a little bit. More headroom for later. So on top of this multiband compressor, I'll add a regular compressor just to squash the low end of it and keep the transient a bit more punch. So turn off auto gain, put a hard knee on it, and with the ratio I might just set it around 3:1 so it's not overly compressing, it's just kind of a light subtle feel. Use the attack knob just to let that transient peek through. So that way it's just compressing the back end of the kick. Play around with the release. We want the release kind of short so that it's not overlapping with the start of the next one. And we'll see we got a bit of gain reduction going on here, so with the output level I'll just push it up a little bit just to compensate. A bit more attack. And I'll turn the dry level up just a little bit too, just to blend it a bit. So now I'll add the maximizer from Ozone. This will help brighten it, give it a lot more punch. So you can choose from all these settings here. I like the analog feel, nice overall timbre to it. Just as a starting point, you can see here that it's peaking straight away, so we'll reduce that. So we'll keep the input and the output kind of similar and level. And we've got all these different modes over here on the side, a slightly different sound. Turn on the transient recovery so we don't lose any of that. And reduce the stereo link a little. If you click here, reset your peak meter. So we can see that we still got a bit of headroom to play with. So we just adjust each of them evenly just to bring the volume up a bit. And finally, add a limiter. You can add waves limiter or any limiter you want. I prefer using the fab filter. It's nice transparent limiter. Doesn't change the sound too much. You can start off with a preset if you want. I find which one is it? The Electronica Big Kick. It's a nice starting point. Computer's overloading a bit, all this processing going on. And close all these. So with the output ceiling or level, drop it down to -1 so that it's no chance of clipping. Change the mode to transparent. And raise the gain a little bit. Don't want to go too much because it will start to distort. You can see there the red tone coming in. It's still wigging out a bit. And might just put the look ahead up a little bit so that it predicts when to reduce it a bit faster. Finally, you will put on Edison again, just to record it back down to audio. Same thing as before, hit record, play the track, pause it, stop it, and cut out one of the kicks. Get it as close as we can without taking off the start of it. Take off a little bit of the tail. See how it sounds. It's pretty good, so drag it out into the playlist again. You can see straight away the comparison compared to the unprocessed and processed. It's a lot more fuller, a lot more low end in it. So play this one by itself, turn off the effects, so you can see it before. So that's the original, and that's the processed. So big difference. Well, there you go. Hope it was helpful. See you next time.